You've decided to turn your big idea into a business. Your most important part is either your product or your service, correct? Think again. It might actually be the experience you deliver. We'll talk about all that and more in today's issue of VisionOfSuccess.tv. There's a quote out there that says, people will forget what you did, people will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I really think that's true, and it's the epitome of all business structures out there. Now, when you're first starting out, when you have a brand new concept in mind and you're starting to develop a business for the very first time, it's easy to get into overwhelm very fast because there's so much that's presenting itself to you. Not only do you have to create the right product and the right business, the right service, but you also have all the business details that go along with it. So it's setting up the business, it's getting your accounting functions underway, it's finding lawyers if you need that, all the different things that go about becoming a business owner and actually creating a business that moves from concept to actually making money and servicing clients on a regular basis. But once you move past that, once you get into the heart of a business, it's no longer about what product you offer or what service you offer, especially the more creative you are and the more that you want to get into the hearts of your customer. At that point, it all comes down to the experience. It all comes down to the way that you make the people feel that are making those purchases from you. Now, I want to tell you a quick story from my very first business that I ever created, back when we started out our photography business. Now, when we first became photographers, one of the things that we did is we started out a lot like everybody else, but we quickly discovered that people didn't buy photography just for the final product. They actually purchased photography for the experience. So while most of the people around us that were also focusing in wedding photography like we were, they would just kind of concentrate on doing the standard checklist items and things like that. We actually focused in on creating an entire show about what we did. So we would start out with brochures like people have never seen before. We created a website, one of the very first websites online with close to 25,000 images back in the 90s when we were still going through dial-up modems and things like that. And then when we got to the wedding itself, we actually wore black suits. We had little earphones where we could connect to each other no matter what part of the ceremony or the wedding reception we were in. We had everything color coordinated. We had everything down to a specific process. And when we left, even when we were still shooting with film and we're even using digital where we could show people, where we could show guests what we were creating, we would have people come up to us at the end and say, your images are absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe what kind of a photographer you are and what you did here today. It was just absolutely phenomenal, and thank you for being here. Now, these were people that didn't even see our work yet, because again, this was before digital. All their images were on little rolls in the bag. They didn't even see it. But it was the experience that really led them to feel like they got completely more than their money's worth, and they really felt like the experience was something that they would not have gotten with any other photographer out there. And that's where the key was. That's what allows you to build a successful business and to be able to charge literally whatever you desire. It's that experience that you create. Because remember, people will always forget about things that you've said or things that you've did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And that will go on for the rest of their life. So once you make a client feel something very special inside, they will become your raving fans. So while you're developing your product and your service right now, from the start, when you have your big idea and you're creating your first book or your first service or whatever it is that you're out there creating, that's fine. You need to take that step first. But then take a step back and look at the entire process that you are giving your clientele. Are you doing everything you can from the marketing stage to the presentation stage to the very final stage after everything's been delivered and you no longer have any association with your client? Are they still getting regular correspondence from you so that you can share with them who you are and what you are doing, not only for them but for your entire customer base? Because that's how you create raving fans. See you next time on Vision of Success TV. Thanks for being with me right here on visionofsuccess.tv. And if you like this tip, make sure you sign up for my newsletter so that you will receive more tips on a weekly basis just like this one. Each week I provide you a wealth of information on how to take your big idea and turn it into something more. We'll see you next week.